It's a little uncomfortable.
Are you having problems trying to sit down?
No, I was just trying to figure out which one I had before.
I can't fucking sit down.
Try using the F6 menu, you little twat.
No.
I've done me a fucking fly over the banister.
Do think E, and then space sit chair 4. Just like how that person put it in the Sky chat.
Okay.
Do it just like that.
Ricky, stop being disabled.
There you go.
Usually,
Fuck me, man.
we haven't had a
fucking pain in the
we
ass.
don't have a lift like
I'm so
USA
sorry.
right now. Because
I'm so sorry.
Are they gonna be
You
whispering
swans
over
in your
there? Or,
scruff.
like, what's the-
Is all
Oh,
is
no,
all
no, you're a
PD here?
witness.
Is all PD here?
Is Sanchez here?
We got
Yep.
most of them, yeah.
I'm good.
Alright, which PD isn't a part of this thing?
No, I'm not sure.
Bruh.
Is all them Austin, is all them officers back there testifying?
No,
Behind you?
the ones that are sitting behind the door, and they are just here in support of LSPD.
Okay,
And
okay.
but the ones that are sitting up here, these are my witnesses. We've got Captain Jerry Bennett and we've got Officer Sanchez.
Captain Drew Bennett. Interesting.
Yes, sir. The Baylor? Oh, the Baylor. I don't have experience, but I'll do it.
But
Okay.
I need you to calm down, man. What do you mean?
Okay. Perfect. I'll do it. I'm so sorry.
Upgrade the
I'm so
HD.
Can you hear me, Ricky? You still there?
Hey mate, I'm still here.
Don't be falling asleep
Where would
again.
you like me to stand?
I'm
I
having
won't
stand
do,
right
mate.
over there.
Believe me.
When was that Reddit involved?
Yes, that's right.
I think she was the senior. You know what do they call them? The trainee. While we were arrested, she was the trainee involved. The bloody cadets.
Right, Austin, you just walked out.
that is so whack.
Do you need any food?
No mate, I'm all good.
Just gonna eat a burger on set.
Hey, I'll have one. If you're eating, I'll eat.
From Wayne's Hatch.
Fucking banging, mate. Mate, I'll have a drink as well on here.
Gonna give you a little pre.
Mr. Markov, can you smile?
Don't be littering in here, you tramp.
You deck it, mate. I can't fit it in my pocket.
For fuck's sake, I'll clean up your mess, you twat.
Yeah, supermodel. Thank you.
Loud and clear. Come to the courthouse.
Hey, Paul, have you got any games on that iPad? Excuse me, mate, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, bro?
I said, have you got any games on your iPad while I'm waiting? You bod shitless here, mate. If you've got anything, I'd appreciate it. Even if it's like Flappy Birds or something.
There you go, man.
Hey, thank you very much, mate.
So that's your client in the pink, right, Markov?
My client. Nope, no, that's not my client. No, no, no.
I'm his client leak.
Oh, you are. Okay.
That's
You look-
just
Looks a
well,
little
stuff
He looks a little different without an alien costume on, you know?
Hello, gentlemen in the pink. Can you hear me, bro?
Fingerprint. Make sure that's
Ah, fuck me, this game's shite. Fuck off.
Date me fingers and sniff it if you really care.
Why are they in the pink?
Aye.
Is Jay injured? Are you allowed
Here you
to
go,
take a
mate. You
look
can have
at
your phone back. It's fucking shite, that game.
Appreciate it, bro. What the fuck is the Chief of PD doing? He's having a little seizure. Poor guy. Love that man, though.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. What you say?
Oh, yeah. I was sitting there
Hey,
watching over
Jamie.
her, she's gonna,
Hey.
Hey, Jordan's over there, mate.
Is he?
Hey, he's here on the white top.
Absolutely.
What you
Hello,
doing here,
Judge.
Liz?
This is Judge Harris.
How you doing, man?
Oh, how you doing, Harris? Harris, did you want to? Were you taking over this? Because
Nah,
I couldn't.
no, actually, I'm a witness. So you good?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing, Bailiff? Nice to have you with us.
Hello, sir. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Do you guys want to make a post on in-city chat? Do you want to flood this place with people, or should we keep it on the down low?
I think that I'm out
Well,
right
you-
now. It's enough.
Bennett's done it already, so.
Yo.
Hey, Jamie, you can't smoke in here, mate.
Shut
Got me
up,
myself
Ricky.
in.
Shut up, Ricky. Shut up.
Alright. Any questions, guys? You got everything?
Mm-hmm.
Everything ready? I believe every one of you received the questions, so you know what to expect from me.
Yep, I got everything that I need.
Perfect. Okay.
There be
No
Dr. Weiss.
problem at all.
So just make sure to, don't lie, be honest. Say everything to the best of your ability, to the best of your knowledge.
Walk off.
100%, mate.
Yeah.
Truth and nothing but the truth.
Exactly.
Can I use my disability chair?
Um,
Can I show you it first?
show me.
If I just sit here like that.
Your Honor, did you want to add a recess in between
No,
strict
no,
and
sir.
A bit big.
time in mind?
No, sir.
If it comes to be about an hour at
A bit
time?
big.
It helps support his
Absolutely.
bad
I actually
leg.
already had that in mind, given that.
Just sit down in the
I'll
chair,
give you a
Jay.
walking stick, okay?
Video is evidence.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not,
Actually, I can do
I'm
that.
not gonna show video.
Hey, do that, mate. Do it. Do it.
Yeah, I
do it.
can.
You
Okay,
watch
perfect.
buddy.
Oops,
Yeah,
sorry,
so he
miss.
can
I didn't mean
support
to push
himself
you.
what's standard.
You're
Did,
good.
did you read Ray Marcoux' affidavit in the deposition I s-
Yeah, hold on.
Yes, yes.
Just do another? Probably at the end.
But yeah, so we're starting here at 2, so if it's about 3 o'clock, or actually you can do the 10-minute recess right after.
Oh, yeah,
Ray
beautiful.
Steps down, okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
I ordered $100,000 worth of
You
coffee
what?
and donuts,
Sit
but
that's
I
better
haven't
than-
seen them yet.
Oh, that's so much better.
Can actually support the leg now.
Yeah. Right, is there a ghost in here?
Don't worry, Jake. Hold on there.
All right, are we ready?
Yeah, we're pretty much ready.
All right, Your Honor, the defense is ready.
Yeah, plan tips ready.
Before we proceed, can I see you for a second, Austin?
What's this? He's not paying them, is he?
Yeah, Jay, shut your mouth.
All right, let's begin. We got Jay Smith versus LSPD. Markov, if you'd like to begin with your opening statement.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen, today we stand before you to seek justice for Jay Smith. On January 24, 2025, Jay was involved in a high-speed chase with the Los Santos Police Department, evading capture on his motorcycle, traveling at speeds of 60-80 miles per hour. In the process, he was violently struck by a police vehicle, thrown off his bike, and severely injured. Despite his serious injuries, Jay managed to limp back onto his bike and continue fleeing. Eventually, Jay was captured and brought to the Mission Road Police Department. I arrived soon after to help negotiate a plea deal for Jay. But what I witnessed was an utter failure to care despite his obvious injuries. Jay was denied medical treatment, food, and water. He passed out in an interrogation room where I screamed for help. The officers, cold and indifferent, simply called for EMS, showing no urgency or empathy. The case is about gross negligence, excessive force, and blatant disregard for Jay's constitutional rights. We will prove that the officers violated Jay's Fourth Amendment rights by using excessive force to apprehend him, and their deliberate indifference violated his Eighth Amendment rights by denying him necessary medical care. They also violated his 14th Amendment rights by failing to act when Jay's life was at risk. The witnesses will confirm the facts. Jay Smith, the plaintiff, will testify about the crash, his attempts to evade, and a complete lack of care when he was brought into the custody. Judge Harris will describe Jay's condition while in the holding cells and the officers failed to provide medical attention despite his visible distress. Ricky Fanicki, who witnessed the crash, will confirm that Jay was injured and needed medical help, yet the officers did nothing. Dr. Brody Woods will explain the severity of Jay's injuries, how the delay in care worsened his condition, and how the officers' action were a direct cause of the suffering. This isn't just about negligence, it's about the intentional infliction of emotional distress. These officers ignored Jay's basic human needs and failed to provide the necessary care when he was under their control. Their actions were reckless and will show that the Los Santos Police Department has failed to prevent such misconduct. We are seeking $500,000 in punitive damages because the officer's conduct was so egregious. It requires accountability to prevent future abuses. Their actions included negligence, excessive force, violations of Jay's constitutional rights, and failing to provide medical care, causing unnecessary suffering. They inflicted emotional distress and committed assault and battery. Not mistakes. They were deliberate and unjustifiable. Jay Smith deserves justice, and we will ensure the law holds those officers accountable for their actions. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Kingsley. Mr. Mears, if you'd like to proceed with your opening statement.
Thank you, Your Honor. And welcome everybody who came today. Like, we did right on time, so that's great. I know in the past it's been very difficult to just start right on time, so this is really great. Thank you, Chief, for coming. Thank you for everybody coming in support of the LSPD. Thank you, Woodrow, for being here, Markov. And thank you, Miss Daniels, for stepping up and being our bailiff today. Your Honor, thank you for being here. Justice Xavier, may it please the court, I'm District Attorney Austin Mears. I represent the Los Santos Police Department. Today, we will demonstrate that the claims brought forward by the plaintiff, Jay Smith, are without any merit. The evidence will show that the actions of the LSPD officers during the incident in question were professional. They're lawful and necessary to ensure public safety. On January 24th, 2025, officers from the LSPD acted to address a serious and escalating public safety threat caused by the plaintiff, Jay Smith. What began as an attempt to conduct just a routine traffic stop quickly escalated due to Jay Smith's reckless and dangerous behavior. Despite clear warnings, Your Honor, Jay Smith chose to evade law enforcement, endanger the public, and actively resist arrest. At every stage of the incident, Your Honor, the officers acted in adherence to their training, policies, and the law to prevent further harm and bring the situation under control. The plaintiff's allegations made in the letter of suit. Wait, who's making all that noise?
Pack it in now.
All right. I'm sorry about that. The plaintiff's allegations made in the letter of sue, which include negligence, excessive force, and constitutional violations, will be refuted by the evidence and the testimony provided today, Your Honor, in this trial. The facts would demonstrate that the LSPD's actions were reasonable, measured, and proportionate to the circumstances that they faced that day. On that day, Your Honor, Senior Officer Ray Marcu, who was unable to make it today, and cadet at that time, Aiden Sanchez, they observed Jay Smith engaging in reckless driving on a yellow motorcycle right outside Mission Row Police Department. Mr. Smith was seen riding on the sidewalk, performing Papa Wheelies, and crashing into public property. When the officers attempted to initiate a lawful traffic stop, Mr. Smith fled away at high speeds, driving recklessly through the intersections and endangering himself, but also others, innocent bystanders in the community. This necessitated a pursuit to prevent any further harm to himself and the public. The pursuit concluded when Mr. Smith returned to Mission Row Police Department and continued to resist arrest by ignoring verbal commands. After multiple warnings, Your Honor, the officers used a taser to subdue him, ensuring that no further harm came to the officer. He was read his Miranda rights. He acknowledged to the officers that he did understand those rights. And at that time, he was processed in accordance with the law. One moment. I'm going to prove, Your Honor, today that the pursuit and the arrest, they were justified. You're going to hear testimony from former cadet, but now promoted, and Officer Aiden Sanchez. He's going to confirm that Jay Smith's reckless behavior necessitated the pursuit. His driving endangered civilians. It damaged public property, Your Honor, and it created a public safety threat that officers were obligated to address. Senior Officer Ray Marcu's deposition and affidavit that was submitted to the court confirms that the danger posed by Jay Smith's actions and the necessity of escalating to a pursuit and arrest. I'm also going to prove, Your Honor, that the use of force, it was reasonable and it was proportional to what was occurring at that time. You're going to hear testimony today from Captain Dre Bennett, and the captain will confirm that verbal warnings were given multiple times before the taser was finally deployed. The decision to use a taser was made only after other measures, such as attempting to tackle the plaintiff, ultimately failed. This demonstrates, Your Honor, the officer's restraint and adherence to all protocols in the department. I'm going to also prove today, Your Honor, through testimony and evidence that no constitutional rights were ever violated. Senior Officer Marku, his affidavit and his deposition, which you have read, they affirm that Mr. Smith was read his Miranda rights. He did acknowledge to him that he understood them, and he did not express any confusion or distress during the arrest or the processing. Also, the lack of any visible or reported injuries prior to consultation with his lawyer undermines claims of failure to provide medical care. I'm going to prove that professional conduct was maintained. The testimony and evidence, including body cam footage, will confirm that all officers acted professionally throughout the entire incident, Your Honor, contrary to what the plaintiff's allegations of emotional distress or misconduct. And that that the officers were also fair legal process, Your Honor. They decided to drop the grand theft auto charge as explained in Officer Marku's deposition. This highlights, Your Honor, that the LSPD's commitment to be fair and acted based on the evidence that was available at that time. Justice Xavier in the court, the LSPD officers acted with professionalism, restraint, and a commitment to public safety. In the incident involving Mr. J. Smith, the plaintiff The evidence will show, Your Honor, that Mr. Smith's reckless and unlawful actions necessitated the officer's response. Their actions were not only lawful, Your Honor, but essential to protect the public, uphold the law, and ensure safety in the community. For these reasons, we respectively request that the court at the end of this trial will dismiss the plaintiff's claims and rule in favor of the Los Santos Police Department. Thank you, Your Honor.
Absolutely. Thank you, Counselor. Mr. Vyshevsky, if you'd like to proceed with your first witness.
Yes, Your Honor. The plaintiff calls J. Smith to testify.
Can you confirm that you're on shouting?
My apologies.
You're fine.
J. Smith, please,
Go to the seat.
Yep.
I'm going.
Alright, hold on 1 second, sir. Please place your hand on this Bible.
I'm not religious.
Alright, sir. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Indeed I do.
You may continue.
I'm ready.
Alright. Jay, can you tell us what happened on the day of January 24th, 2025, when you were involved in the police pursuit?
So what happened was my stepbrother Ricky came back off holiday, and I previously worked, he'd been there for a year. He went to Australia. So he came back, I showed him PD because I'd recently had a job there, which was terminated due to mutual consent due to my PTSD issues. So I showed him a bit about the place, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, it quickly escalated, very, very quickly. in order of I was dressed as Buzz Lightyear, and I don't know what he was dressed as. But one of your officers came out very, very aggressive, putted a taser straight to me head, and my nana died in the Vietnam War in 2010 due to a taser. So that really, it really did get to me. So
Understand. I understand.
I've, sorry. So I've seen the taser and I've gone, I can't do this, and I've gone literally at the speed of light. I get to the first corner and bang, I'm hitting rocks, I'm hitting pavements, and I am in a metal fence. And I don't know how I've done it, to be honest. My legs like are wrapped around my head, everything. I'm upside down. I'm in agony, so much pain. I've got on my bike and I've gone back to PD on the bike. And from there, I have been tased multiple times and arrested.
Okay. And you were riding a motorcycle, as you stated, correct?
Correct.
Can you describe the speed at which you were traveling before you were hit by the police officer?
Fucking rapid.
Please watch your language.
Oh, sorry, mate. Rapid. I was going so quickly, about, as she had touching 80 mile an hour minimum.
Okay. And after you've been struck off of your motorcycle, did you feel pain immediately?
Just a bit like, oh, the pain was extortionate. I was crying instantly. You know, blood everywhere. Everywhere.
Okay. And despite your injuries, what did you do next after being hit off the bike?
I climbed,
Mhm.
on my knees, I had to crawl to the bike. I got on it and I read it straight back to PD, where I was then not even asked if I'm okay, if I need medical attention, after I just nailed me off my bike. Not if I'm okay, he just tased me again and was very, very hands-on and aggressive.
Understand. And after you got back on your bike, did you feel physically able to continue, or were you in severe pain?
No, I was in severe pain, like I couldn't
Mhm.
see anything. I saw the light. I thought I was gonna die.
And did you express any physical distress to the officers, either during the pursuit or
Pretty clear that I'm not gonna get up. It's gonna hurt and it is gonna cause me a really bad physical pain. So the fact that they've not even cared about that is pretty extortionate.
Yes, sir. And when you're brought back to the Mission Road Police Department, did you request any medical attention or assistance
I
from the
did
police
indeed.
officers?
I did say I was very injured. I just came flying off a bike and just none of them. They're all telling me to shut up, being very aggressive, just not giving an absolute care in the world.
Okay. And were you provided with any food, water, or medical care while in the custody
I
of the
wasn't.
police?
I wasn't. Hence how I actually died in my interrogation room. You know, I didn't quite die, but I was extremely. I might as well have stroked it. Like,
Yep. So, as you stated, you lost consciousness in the interrogation.
I was in my interrogation room and I did say to one of the lawyers that came to the building that I was experiencing some really bad sight issues and head pain. And he said he was going to get someone, and I believe he did talk to an officer outside me interrogation room. And from there, they just walked off and led to me. Actually, I can't remember. I had something wrong with my brain. I think a blood clot or something like that. I never got to the bottom of it, never had time, but it caused me to pass out. And nearly die.
I understand. And when you passed out, do you happen to remember if the officers responded urgently to your condition, or was there a delay in calling or even medically assisting you as they are trained to do?
I think I couldn't see anything, but my ears were still working luckily, so I could hear everything. It's just one of those things. And I could hear the lawyer. It wasn't yourself, Mokov, it was the other one. And I heard him actually telling everyone that I'd passed out. This is what I remember anyway. I remember him actually rushing me to an EMS member instead of PD. And yeah, and then I believe a PD officer took me from EMS back to my interrogation room and not offering me anything else.
I understand. Thank you, Your Honor. No further questions from the plaintiff.
Sweet.
You can stay there. You can stay there.
Ah, shit, sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Counselor Mears, if you'd like to cross-examine.
Of course. Hello, Mr. Smith.
Hello.
Mr. Smith, on January 24th, 2025.
I'm sorry to cut you off. It's actually hard to hear you this way.
Is it? Can you hear me?
Just about.
All right, let me get closer. I don't know why you couldn't hear me.
Because you're not speaking loud enough.
Can you hear me better now?
I can.
Okay, I'll speak up. Mr. Smith, on January 24th, 2025, you were observed riding a yellow motorcycle outside Mission Row Police Department, correct?
Correct.
You were riding on the sidewalk, performing wheelies and weaving through traffic, correct?
Absolutely incorrect.
Can you go into detail about that?
There wasn't any cars. So I don't know how I'm going to weave in and out of traffic when there's no cars there. The bike was parked on the side of the road, so it wasn't an obstruction in traffic. And I was actually on foot when your officers came out.
You went through all the streets and you didn't interact with one car while you were going all the way through.
Believe it or not, mate, I was actually hit off my bike coming up to the first corner. I didn't even get to another street. So that's what happened.
So you'd agree that your actions on the bike, that they were reckless and dangerous, right? Doing wheelies and going over the speed limit, those were reckless and dangerous, right?
I don't know if I'm going to have to remind you, I had PTSD that was triggered because of your officer's very aggressive behaviour. That's what's triggered me to speed off.
That's not
don't interrupt me, please. Don't interrupt me, please. Thank you. I'm speaking. I was pressured with a taser. I thought I was getting nicked, but doing nothing wrong. And he's put the taser to my face. I have PTSD. That's triggered, and I've shot off. Damn right, I've shot off, and I've been hit unlawfully and extremely dangerously.
When Chase Smith, when a person's on a motorcycle and they're riding on the sidewalk, performing papa wheelies, going over the speed limit, those are reckless.
Untrue.
No, when a person, if any person is riding on the sidewalk, performing papa wheelies and weaving in and out of traffic, that's reckless and dangerous, right?
It would be, yeah, unless it's a private road.
When officers initiated a lawful traffic stop with you, you chose to flee rather than stop, correct?
When was it ever a traffic stop? I was on foot. No. I was on foot. So when would it have been a traffic stop? Because they first came out when I was on foot. And then they've not even attempted to pull me over afterwards. They've just nailed me off my bike.
Again, that wasn't my question. When you were on your bike and
but your question's not true, so how can I answer it?
When you were speeding through traffic and doing papa
I never got
wheelies,
to the point of speeding through
riding
traffic.
riding on the sidewalks, and they had their blue lights and sirens going, going through the streets of San Andreas, and you, instead of stopping and pulling over like a civilian should, you decided to continue and flee, correct?
I made it about 5 meters down the road. I didn't even get onto another street.
But you understand that fleeing, doing a 1080 is a crime, right?
But when I make them aware of my PTSD issues and they continue to point a taser at my face, that's out of my control at that point. I'm sorry.
Again,
However,
that's
and
not
again,
my
and
question.
again,
Would you
and I'm
answer,
gonna,
answer my question? My
Sure,
question
back
is,
up
no,
out of my face, please. What's going on here? Judge,
Mr.
don't let
Smith.
him in my face like that, please.
Mr. Smith.
That's threatening behavior.
Mr. Smith, can you hear me okay?
I can't hear.
Try to contain yourself during the questioning, all right?
I just can't answer his questions because I'm not true. I don't know what you want to do about that. But I'll try.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
so Mr. Smith,
I can't hear you
When-
again, mate. Can you come forward, please?
so fleeing from police officers through the streets at high rates of speed, that's a crime, correct?
Correct.
During this chase, you exceeded speeds of 80 miles per hour, driving on the wrong side of the road and endangered officers and the civilians of the city, correct?
Incorrect.
Could you explain to the court, and remember, you're on oath.
I was on the
what-
right-hand side of the road, which is completely lawful. I was speeding, but show your officers, and they cleaned me out over that speed limit.
Okay. You know the judge has seen the body cam, so I'll continue.
That's perfectly fine.
You returned to Mission Row PD after fleeing. Was that an attempt to taunt the police officers that night?
I'm struggling to hear again, pal.
I don't know what's wrong with my voice. Okay, step out of the courtroom and come right back. Maybe it's something that'll
I
clear
can
up.
hear you all right.
I can hear you
Absolutely,
there.
Counselor.
I can hear you there, mate. If you point your face towards me, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
There you go. There you go.
I didn't know you had to actually be looking at the person. All right. So when you return back to Mission Row Police Department, is that an attempt to taunt the officers?
What do you mean taunt them? Could you explain?
At exact, like get them going. You were trying to, rile them up. You were trying to cause a big scene, harass them.
No, the reason I actually came back to PD is because I'd just been hit off a bike and I was feeling extremely unwell. And I thought the best thing to do in this situation is go back to PD and hand yourself in and get some treatment.
If you're truly suffering from PTSD and you felt unsafe, Jay Smith, why in the world would you return to the police department instead of just pulling over and removing yourself from the situation?
Like I said, I was in extreme pain and I thought I was going to die.
Mm-hmm. When officers attempted to arrest you, you refused to comply with their commands.
To a certain degree, yes.
You did not put your hands up as instructed by them, correct?
Correct.
Instead,
because I was in pain, my lower back was in pain, and putting your hands up does hurt.
We all know you got PTSD and all this stuff. Instead, you attempted to flee on foot, right?
Pardon?
Instead of putting your hands up and speaking to the officers.
Yeah, but the problem is I agree what you're saying. I stood there, and then again, one of them pulled out an actual gun towards me, and tasers are another limit. And I was stood there, you could have easily arrested me, instead you had to tase me, and there was just no need for that, in my opinion. So continue, please.
Okay, so you attempted to flee on foot, right? It's a yes or no answer.
Yeah, after the tasers were pointed at me face by multiple people.
I'm just asking you a yes or no question.
I said yes. Yes.
All right, I'll go on to the next question now.
Judge, may I have a drink?
Yeah, go ahead. Officers had to use a taser to finally subdue you. You'd agree that they only used it on you because you were actively resisting them, correct?
Sort of, but I'll go yes.
All right. After being tased, you continued to struggle with the officers that night, correct?
Incorrect.
Okay. Would you?
I was practically paralyzed. How can you struggle with a paralyzed person?
Mhm. Do you understand that resisting arrest is a crime in this state?
It would be if you're doing it correct.
Firearm and a switchblade on your person, correct?
Correct.
This firearm that they found was unregistered, wasn't it?
Correct. Yeah.
After carrying this switchblade, it's illegal under this state, correct?
Correct.
These items were found in your possession, not somebody else's, right?
That gun was actually held for someone else. However, the switchblade was mine for self-protection.
Mr. Smith, now you are now claiming that you suffer from PTSD,
Not now. I always have.
from panic attacks and seizures that were triggered by the flashing lights, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
You mentioned these issues before this lawsuit, correct?
Pardon again. Can you repeat that, please?
You never mentioned these issues of PTSD before the lawsuit began, correct?
I've never had to. I've never. The blue lights triggering me seizures and me panic attacks is from this event. However, the tasers was from much further ago.
You didn't inform the officers at the scene that you were having a PTS episode, did you?
I actually did in my cell. I did.
Okay. Which officer did you mention that to?
One of them. I can't remember spot on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You never claimed PTSD during your initial arrest and booking, right?
In what, sorry?
Like when they were reading your Miranda rights, you never mentioned, hey, I got PTSD, right?
I was feeling dizzy and sick and injured. That's not the first thing I'm going to come out with. I actually did mention it to them. I did mention it to them in the cell. I did mention it to them in the cell, like I just said.
If your PTSD was so severe, why did you choose to engage in reckless driving and taunt officers instead of just seeking help?
Because with PTSD, mate, if you had it, you can't control it. Once someone pulls a taser on you and gives threatening behavior, that's just PTSD. Otherwise, it'd just be called arrogance.
If you had a medical emergency in the cells, why did you not mention it earlier?
Well, repeat that, please.
If you actually had a medical emergency in the cells, why didn't you mention it like earlier before it happened?
I must have repeated myself about 5 times, and no one actually gave a care in the world. Hence, to me, passing out eventually, and then realizing that you're supposed. And I didn't even get given food or water afterwards. After I passed out, I was only given medical care because I was on the verge of dying. So my injuries must have been that bad if I was on the verge of death.
You passed out.
It's in the pudding, pal.
The medical report from Captain Brody Woods states that your PTSD worsened 10 times after the incident. How exactly was that measured?
Off me mathematical equations,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't wish to share.
Was any psychiatric evaluation
Yes.
conducted to confirm this 10 times PTSD worsening?
Not professionally, no, but I can tell you myself how much I had to lock myself in a dark room and stare at the corner of my wall after I was having these panic attacks and my PTSD attacks. So I didn't literally mean exactly 10 times. Could have been 9.9 times.
Okay.
Officers,
Who was that,
I'm
sorry?
sorry. I'm sorry. Judge
Hey,
or
whoever's
officers, can
talking,
you?
shut your mouth.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, literally, show your mouth. Officers that's sitting in the pulpit, everybody
May I
around.
proceed?
If you find anyone making noise in this courtroom, hit them with a content, lock them up, take them off. We're not
Yes,
playing
sir.
that in here.
Where was I up to, sorry?
It's okay. So
Aye.
did Dr. Woods conduct any neurological tests to confirm that these flashing lights actually triggered seizures for you?
You can't really diagnose it, mate. It's because I've been suffering with them at home. You can't legally put flashing lights on in a room and cause me a seizure. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of those things that I know has worsened in myself, and that's hence why I went to the doctors.
So you're now claiming that you cannot manage your store, take your children to school, or watch your favorite show, correct?
But can you just tell the judge what show that is, please?
Again, I'm the one asking you questions. You're on the witness stand now.
No worries.
Did you provide any financial or school records to prove this hardship that you have?
Unfortunately, I haven't, no, because I've been trying to sort my mental health out, and I've been trying to sort my physical issues out instead. Me kids are very understanding, you know, and further problems have happened with my stepbrother Ricky to do with his health, and I'm not even broken that out to them yet.
Would you agree that your claims are purely emotional appeals and they actually have nothing to do with the events that took place on January 24th?
The flashing lights come from police cars, and I've been put on morphine for the pain. So that's pretty related to the physical pain.
You claim you were denied legal access, correct?
Legal access to what?
Well, it in the report it says that you claim that day that you were denied to have legal assistance, but actually multiple officers confirmed that you actually had 2 lawyers to help you, correct?
After I passed out, correct?
In fact, about the legal access that these officers gave you, they were so kind. You actually had full access to an interrogation room for you and your lawyers, right?
The one of the other lawyers actually took me into that room, and a cadet.
Well, yeah, but the
was in there.
officers had to approve that and gave you that access, right?
But they were nice enough to not give me any medical attention. Yes.
Again, that I'm talking about legal access right now. I'm talking about medical questions. You're aware that your own lawyer, Mr. Markov, was frustrated with how long you were actually dragging things out down in the cells, correct?
I'd like to know what with.
You're aware Markov was just getting frustrated with you, correct?
Well, that's very inappropriate. I don't know.
It's a yes or no question.
How is that a yes or no question? Him getting frustrated at me, how's that a yes or no question?
That's correct, right? Markov was getting frustrated with you that night because you were just dragging
He's never personally told me that, so I don't know.
Okay. Isn't it true that even your lawyers wanted to move on because your case wasn't worth wasting their time on, correct?
Incorrect. Again, I've never been told that.
Mr. Smith, would you agree that this entire incident could have been avoided if you had simply complied with the initial traffic stop?
I can't control my PTSD. So no.
You chose to escalate the situation by fleeing, driving.
That's due to PTSD. Or is that understood?
Can I finish my question? You chose to escalate the situation that night by fleeing, driving recklessly, resisting arrest, and carrying illegal items with you, didn't you?
Incorrect. If they weren't so aggressive and pointing tasers at my head, my PTSD would have been in control and it wouldn't have been triggered. However, they took the extra mental measures of putting tasers at my head, which triggered my PTSD, which cannot be handled. And that, unfortunately, you lose control. You don't have PTSD.
PTSD does not justify fleeing from police,
It
reckless
does.
evasion, resisting arrest, or carrying an illegal firearm, does it?
The illegal firearm was nothing to do with the actual problem.
Even if you have PTSD, that does not mean the officers acted unlawful, does it?
The way that he hit me off my bike at 80 miles an hour, pretty sure it does, yes.
The officers reacted to your choices, not your mental state. Correct?
Okay, right. But what I'm gonna say to you is, it's not in law. I have also been in the PD before. You can.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Absolutely. Mr. Smith, you may step down. Counselor Markov, you can proceed with your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The plaintiff calls Judge Harris to testify.
Okay, sir. Please put your hand on this Bible. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, you may have a seat.
Harris, can you confirm you were in the holding cells on January 24th, 2025?
Yes.
What was Jay Smith's condition when you first observed him?
Excuse me.
When I first walked in, he was in clear pain, already limping throughout the cells.
Is Harris on shout? Because we can't hear him back here.
Bro.
Harris, could you make sure that you're on level 3?
Struggling to hear him, mate.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah. You can't even hear him.
We can hear you. It's just very your voice is very low. Are you on
Your
voice
voice
box
is
number
very
3?
muffled, sir.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Does anyone know what's the vanilla muscle to change your voice box zone H? Can you flex your H muscle, Judge, and in your right bottom corner of your eyes it should say free at your little icon of microphone in your eyes voice box?
No, I ain't seeing
H
it.
muscle.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect.
Oh.
Thank you.
Lot better than.
All right.
Okay, so I'm gonna repeat the question. Don't worry. So, what was Jay Smith's condition when you first observed him?
When I first walked in, he was already limping across the stage, across the cell, trying to talk to me.
And did Jay appear to be in any physical distress, or did he have any bruises, blood coming off of him? Was he limping, for example? Any injuries on him when you first saw him?
Yes, from what I can see, he had a leg injury.
Okay.
He
And
was just-
yep. Did Jay mention to you that he was in pain or needed medical care?
yes, that's one of the first things that came out of his mouth, that he was hit off his bike and hurt.
Okay. And did Jay pass out in the interrogation room? Are you aware if he did or not?
Yes, he passed out while I was talking with the officers about his injuries and what he was charged with.
Hmm. And what did the officers do when Jay passed out?
Um, they was well. First they said really, and then they was like, well, we gonna call EMS. I believe at that time, it was the cadet that had got on the radio and asked for EMS to come up to the PD.
So only when Jay passed out, that's when the officers made efforts to provide medical care for him, even though he was visibly injured.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, there we go. And from your perspective, did the officers treat Jay's injuries seriously?
No, they just kept telling me they didn't see no injuries when they had arrested.
Okay. And did Jay seem mentally alert to you, or was he in a state of confusion due to the physical condition and his mental conditions, as he has mentioned?
I feel like he was in a state of panic trying to figure out how things went so left.
Yep. And given the circumstances, do you believe Jay should have been given medical attention sooner?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. No further question from the plaintiff.
Absolutely. Council members, if you'd like to cross-examine.
All right, one moment while I collect my notes. I'll stand up here. Judge Harris, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Mr. Harris, you are a public defender, correct?
Yes.
And you're here today testifying in support of the plaintiff, Jay Smith, correct?
Yes.
You're not a neutral observer in the case. You are actively supporting Jay Smith's lawsuit, correct?
Well, I'm neutral on what is right.
Okay. Jay Smith regarding this incident, correct?
Yes.
You originally claimed to have records of this conversation, but you later stated that those records were lost. Is that right?
Yes. Agree with that argument.
You stated Jay Smith told you he was denied medical attention, correct?
Yes.
Any body cam footage to confirm the claim?
No, I did not.
So you're testifying about the police misconduct without ever reviewing the officer's actual recorded interactions with Jay Smith, right?
Yes, but at the same time, the officer, when I was talking to him about the case, he also said that he did not call anybody up for medical assistance because Jay Smith did not seem injured when they brought him in. That came out their both of their mouths.
Did you review any of the LSPD incident reports regarding this arrest of Jay Smith?
No.
So once again, you're forming your opinion solely on what Jay Smith told you and not with your own independent verification, correct?
Well, I'm forming
Objection,
my
assumptions.
yeah. I'm forming my
Judge
opinion.
Harris was present. He's a witness. He witnessed what happened. Claims made by a defense are assumptions.
I'll move on. You stated that you personally saw injuries on Mr. Smith, correct?
Yes.
Can you describe these injuries in great detail for the court today?
I just seen the blood on his knees from his legs.
Did you take
And
any
him
photo?
limping.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
Oh, and him limping. That's it.
As a lawyer that night, did you take any photos or request any medical documentation to verify these injuries that you saw?
No, because I was trying to get him medical attention.
So you are asking this court to take your word on these injuries despite not having any medical records to confirm what you saw, right?
I am asking them to take my word on this out of something that came out of the officer's mouth and that was visibly seen on Jay Smith. I mean, these are things that they said for themselves that they did not call medical attention in.
You claim that Jay Smith was denied medical attention while in custody, correct?
Yes.
Can you point to any other report that confirms that Jay Smith asked for any medical help before he collapsed?
Well, like I said, I don't have any access to any of the files myself. I can just go off what I've heard.
Are you aware that the officers that'll testify later, they're going to say that he never requested any medical assistance before he actually collapsed? Do you know that?
Yes, because that's the same thing that they told me inside the cells. But I mean, if you see someone with blood on their legs limping around the cell, and you know that you hit him off the bike, I mean that's pretty common sense. Like he needs medical attention.
Mr. Harris, you're a judge, correct?
Yes.
You're a public defender, right?
Yes.
Are you a trained medical professional?
No.
Do you have any formal medical training to assess these injuries that you saw on him?
No.
So when you say that Mr. Smith had severe injuries, that is purely just your own personal opinion and not a professional medical assessment, correct?
Yes. But at the same
Absolutely. You can step down, Judge Harris. We will take a 10-minute recess.
All right.
I want to talk with you.
All right, come on.
You got 10-minute break.
Let's go right here. Come on.
Okay. This is what I'm gonna say.
Yep.
He told me not a completely different story, but how he was detained. Because he said he came back on the bike, right? And to turn himself in.
That's what I did.
Right, but they, no, here. But they butchered those words. They butchered theirs so much, right? Okay.
I know.
I haven't seen any of the body cam footage, so I can't do anything, like that. But what I can do is, like I said, I'm gonna do the best that I can because you are mentally and, physically, as you do have the limp from time to time, and that's not good due to the officer's actions.
Exactly.
So,
Jay, I'm sorry. And Jay, you need to chill out, slow down, be more appropriate in the court, professional, because whatever you are doing is absolutely crazy to me. You gotta slow down, no swearing, don't
It's
cut
just the
anyone.
Scottish in me, I can't lie.
I understand.
Oh yeah, you here, Jay. Come here. Oh,
I'm trying to get out of the way. I'm going.
Ricky, would you piss off?
okay.
Arcov, mate. Do you know who's
No, I'm
next?
trying. I'm
Am
trying
I
to talk
next?
to Harris, not
no,
you,
you're
Jay.
gonna be the
Oh,
fourth
shit.
one and the last one, I believe.
So
Yep.
you saw him
Alright, that's
in the
perfect for
cells,
me, 'cause
correct?
I might have to be
Yeah.
on my head for 2 minutes.
He
But
That's
was
fine.
bleeding from the
if
legs
it don't
down.
interrupt anything, that's
Yeah.
fine.
How
That's
badly
fine.
was
Just
he
make sure
bleeding
you're
from the
gonna
legs
sit
down?
there and yeah,
If you
I'm gonna
can-
question
would-
Dr.
I
Browning
would say
for
it went
about
probably about
10
halfway
minutes.
down his leg.
Halfway down his
Yeah,
legs.
knee.
fine.
And
Markov,
Okay.
though,
And
do you
you're
not
telling
think
me
he was asking me
that the
questions that didn't
officers-
actually happen?
Yes.
that the
I wouldn't
officers- what's
call
it called?
objection, but you kept on talking. You
Fucking
can
hell.
take a second to,
not
think
getting
about the
medical
question,
attention.
but that's what
I
makes
hate
sense.
liars,
Yeah.
though.
I need to.
hate liars,
I
Markov.
wish I saw this body cam footage
Why
from
did he not
both
have his
sides.
finger on the
I
Bible
was
to like
using
say
a
he's
different
not
body
lying?
cam
You know
at
what I
that
mean?
time. And
Because he
So-
I
the
just
camera
went
lies.
to metal myself,
That's
and I
a
could not.
very good point.
I lost all my videos from my previous body cam.
Yeah.
I had to swap over. That's the only thing that had killed me
So
because I was using a different body cam. at the
Mhm.
time.
So the medical things that I have are very bad head pain. So I would say
I have pictures of him being tased while on the ground, falling
Okay.
out, blood everywhere. I will present it while I'm gonna examine you,
this is.
get you to testify.
I did. I diagnosed him with very bad head pain, nosebleeds, throwing up, constant shitting. I'll say constipation,
I fucking tell me about it. I
loss
was in
of
the room
hair,
lots
and
of
memory
times.
loss. That is the
Yeah.
diagnosis that I came up with. That I know as a doctor and therapist. So if
Well,
they
I
try
mean,
to, if they try to
head pain
judge
can
that,
come from-
I swear to
head
God.
pain can come from getting knocked off a bike too. I mean,
That's crazy. Like, and you're telling me this case wasn't gonna be worth, man. No, this is
Talking about,
no.
like weaving in and out of traffic, but yet he made it about like 2 steps.
Was it
down the
even a
road and
traffic
got
stop?
cut off.
That's another thing.
no,
Traffic
no,
stop.
it was not.
So
it was not
then, why are they claiming it was a traffic stop and then
Exactly.
turn into a 1080?
What
It
If
makes no
what
sense,
happened
mate.
was, like, seriously, no sooner than they walked out,
Right, check.
walked out the police
10:48.
station, they seen him. They seen him jump on the bike
Mhm.
and take off.
Yeah.
They immediately started chasing him. They started chasing him because somebody had ran up to the officer and told the officer that the bike was stolen. That's why they started chasing.
Okay.
But doing them trying to catch up with,
yeah,
that's when they hit
middle.
him off the bike. But it was never actually presented as,
And-
hey, we're
and the
trying to
bike-
stop you.
The whole thing about the bike being stolen, that was just Ricky taking the piss.
I was only joking, like I wasn't being
Yeah.
serious.
It
So-
just-
My question for you, Jay, is did you do what they were saying? Were you popping wheelies and everything?
No,
I didn't do a wheelie. I didn't see him
Okay.
do a wheelie, and I was
can't do
fucking
wheelies.
outside of PD.
oh yeah, that, y'all, this is just Sky.
Were you on like the sidewalk at all? What he's
Hi,
claiming?
guys.
the
Hello.
bike was parked on the sidewalk,
Okay.
but
yeah,
I was on
That's
foot.
all I need to hear. Because this is just straight up nonsense coming out their mouths now.
Don't worry.
So I'll do whatever I can.
Yeah, I mean, they can try to argue that fact, but I mean,
They know they're finished, so they got a lie.
And I don't like how the judge called Austin to the side before the whole case started. But he didn't cause. But he didn't ask Markov. A little sus to me. Just saying.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's slipping payments in his pocket.
I don't know. I'm just saying it was a little sus.
oh,
That's all.
nah. You ain't gotta worry about that, Wiz.
Hey, it's just a
You
little
got it.
sus. Can you see my
Yeah.
point of view? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
No, it's definitely suspect in our eyes, mate.
It's like paying a referee before the game, you know what I mean? It's a bit off.
But okay. All right. I wish I'd seen these body cams. That would help me so much more. But I have not.
Yeah. Well, I only had body cam of what had actually went down.
Did he pass out in the cell as well?
Oh yeah, he did.
Okay.
He passed out in the interrogation room in the room next
I
to me.
have body cam of that.
Okay, so he passed out in the cell. Didn't get a
Well, in
medical
the
attention.
interrogation room.
In the okay.
Yeah, they moved him from the cell
Sounds
to
like
the
neglect.
interrogation room, and that's where he passed
Yeah.
out.
All right.
Oh, Marco. This is Judge Sky right here.
Hey,
Hi
how
there,
you doing?
Bob.
Chance to meet her.
Of course, nice to meet you.
Love your face tattoo.
Thank you.
Yeah, the lead defense attorney right there. You know, one of the best defense attorneys you can find in this city. Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Well, we got 3 minutes, so let's get back. All right, guys. Any questions? Doctor,
Let's
you're
do it.
next. All right. I'm
Fucking
gonna have pictures.
fantastic.
I'm gonna present. So
Please.
don't worry.
Please,
Right, I'm
because
just gonna be in my head for 10 minutes. So
if
I'm
I
gonna
didn't
pop
get
myself
that-
Don't
to
worry.
sleep.
You can be in your head. Just be at the sit.
Wow.
You could tell
ay ay ay.
Yeah, how you doing, brother?
Camila,
What'd you say?
have a seat. Have a seat, please. You got chairs. in
Roger,
here?
was that you calling over the radio?
10-4.
Okay, one moment.
Oh, I'm good. I don't fly out for like 3 hours.
Ricky, you can be in your head. It's fine. Just be back in about 10 minutes. Alright.
There's a lot of vehicles.
Go ahead and let Stacy know that you're available for training
Is that
in the
right?
FTO chat where she asked you.
Babe. We're good.
Okay. So, whenever I call you in, I'm gonna actually play some pictures on this TV.
Can you